CF Practice Test 2026 Certified Forester Exam Questions and Answers Forestry Management Study Guide. Question 1. What is the primary goal of silviculture? To build roads in the forest. The art and science of controlling the establishment, growth, and quality of forest stands. To count every tree in the world. To sell timber for the highest price only. Silviculture focuses on forest management for specific objectives. Question 2. Which tool is used to measure the diameter of a tree at breast height, dBH? Altimeter, diameter tape or calipers, clinometer, compass. D-tapes are wrapped around the tree to measure diameter directly. Question 3. What is basal area in forestry? The area at the bottom of a hill. The cross-sectional area of a tree stem at dBH. The total acreage of a forest. The amount of bark on a tree. Basal area is a common measure of forest density. Question 4. A stand in forestry is defined as a place to sell wood. A contiguous group of trees sufficiently uniform in species, age, and condition. A single very large tree. The platform used for bird watching. A stand is the basic unit of forest management. Question 5. Which harvesting method involves removing all trees in a given area at one time? Selection cutting, shelterwood cutting, clear cutting, thinning. Clear cutting removes the entire overstory. Question 6. What is the public trust doctrine in natural resource law? The idea that the government owns everything. The principle that certain resources are preserved for public use and the government must protect them. A law that forbids cutting trees. A tax on timber. The doctrine establishes that the state holds resources like water and wildlife in trust for the public. Question 7. Site index is a measure used to determine the location of a forest on a map, the potential productivity of a site for a particular tree species, the number of bugs in the soil, the price of the land. Site index is typically based on the height of dominant trees at a base age. Question 8. Which process involves the natural or artificial replacement of a forest stand? Decomposition, regeneration, succession, respiration. Regeneration is the act of renewing a forest. Question 9. What is dendrology? The study of forest fires. The study of tree identification and classification. The study of forest soils. The study of wood prices. Dendrology is the botanical study of trees. Question 10. A clinometer is primarily used to measure tree diameter, tree height and slope percentage, soil moisture, wind speed. Clinometers measure angles, used for height and topography. Question 11. Which of the following is a biotic forest stressor? Drought, bark beetles, wildfire, wind throw. Biotic stressors are living organisms like insects or fungi. Question 12. The best management practices, BMPs, in forestry primarily aim to protect timber profits, water quality and soil productivity, the aesthetic beauty of the forest only, the speed of harvesting. BMPs are guidelines to reduce environmental impacts, especially on water. Question 13. What is board foot? A foot-long piece of bark. A unit of volume equal to a board 12 foot x 12 x 1. The length of a log. The weight of a tree. A board foot is the standard volume measure for lumber. Question 14. Which silvicultural system maintains an uneven-aged stand? Clear-cut, seed tree, selection system, shelterwood. Selection systems remove trees individually or in small groups, maintaining multiple age classes. Question 15. The term anadromous refers to fish that live only in lakes, migrate from the sea to fresh water to spawn, eat only insects, live in the deep ocean only. Salmon are a common example of anadromous fish affected by forest management. Question 16. What is a cruiser's prism used for? To see in the dark, to estimate basal area through point sampling, to cut small branches, to measure the age of a tree. A prism is an optical tool for variable plot cruising. Question 17. Which layer of the forest is composed of the highest foliage? Understory, canopy, forest floor, herbaceous layer. The canopy is the uppermost layer formed by the crowns of the trees. Question 18. Succession in an ecosystem describes the death of a forest, the gradual change in species composition over time, the process of harvesting timber, the rotation of foresters. Ecological succession is the orderly process of community development. Question 19. What is the standard height for measuring DBH in the United States? 3.5 feet, 4.5 feet, 5.5 feet, 6.5 feet. Diameter at breast height is standardized at 4.5 feet above the ground. Question 20. The National Environmental Policy Act (NEPA) requires federal agencies to ignore the environment, assess the environmental effects of their proposed actions, stop all logging, plant more trees. NEPA requires environmental assessments, EAS, or environmental impact statements, EISs.